YouTube. What's up, baby? We're back in this thing again for another review. This is Q's Insight. I am Callie, and today we're going to be talking about the book of Boba Fett, Chapter 6, all right? So Chapter 6 is entitled, From the Desert Comes a Stranger. Now, if you've been on this channel before, you already know how we do it. We started off with the premise, 3 favorite scenes, the grade, and then we're on to the next one, right? So, the book of Boba Fett, Chapter 6, entitled, From the Desert Comes a Stranger. So, in this episode, we pretty much pick up off where we left off in the last episode, but a little difference, but still pretty much right there. We see Pikes, and they're happening to do a spice deal, and they end up running into Cobb from the Mandalorian, and Cobb, prevents them from doing their ordeal. Tells them, hey, you may be able to do what you want out there, but when you're on when you're at Mos Peglo, then you don't get to run your stuff over here, and if you do, what I'm saying, like, I'm not gonna allow that to happen. So there's like 4 Pikes, and of course they try to draw their weapon. He shoots 3 of them. The 4th Pike is alive, and he's like, look, like, tell the Syndicate I'm not worried about any of the things that they can do to us. Just know that you're not gonna be able to run your spice through these areas. Once it comes to this area, like, it's a no. It's not, you're not gonna be able to do it. And so he ends up letting the Pike leave, and that's how that scene ends. And then we go, and like, we really do pick up where we left off last time, and we see Mando, and he's on his way to go see Grogu. He lands on the planet. R2 leads Mando to basically like this temple, and you see a lot of robots building this temple, and you can already tell if you're a Star Wars fan, you know what this temple's basically gonna be. It's gonna be a school for younglings, So the R2 leads him there. He sees all the robots building all this stuff, and he's like, and then for a second R2 shuts down, and so Mando's like, hey, wake up, and he won't wake up. So he's like, I guess I'm supposed to wait here until Skywalker and Grogu show up. So he sits there and he waits. So as Mando's waiting for Luke and Grogu to come, to where he is, we actually see Grogu, and he's with Luke, and he's meditating. And then they go back. They start walking back. Well, it seems like they're on their way to walk back to where the temple is, where Mando is. But they're just as they're walking, Luke ends up telling Grogu about his master, which is Yoda. He lets him know, like, hey, I had a master one day, or once upon a time, and he was of your kind, he was of your species, and he was just strong. Also, just giving him a rundown on Yoda. It's important for Grogu to know about Yoda, because Yoda was like one of the strongest Jedi ever, and being that Grogu is part of that race, he has the ability to be one of the strongest Jedi as well, if that's what he wants to do. Because I think that race, like that ethnicity, whatever you want to say, I think they have the strongest will towards the Force. I don't know why, but I guess that's what I heard. So, So after, Luke talks to Grogu about Yoda, he ends up saying like, hey, look, let me show you, you know, what happened in your past. So he puts his hand on, Luke puts his hand on Grogu's head, and it shows, you know, back in the past when Order 66 was being, you know, once it was happening, once it was called to action, and we see Jedi's, trying to fight back against stormtroopers and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they all end up dying, and you can see that in the back behind them was baby Grogu, and he was like laying in his little like, you know, whatever that thing is, that little thing that carries him. And so as once all the stormtroopers kill all the Jedi, they keep going forward, and then that's when the scene ends. So I know for sure, whether it's in The Mandalorian or whether it's this next episode, we're going to see who saved Grogu, because we still don't know exactly who saved Grogu. So as and then we go, and as Mando is waiting for Grogu and Luke, Mando ends up seeing Ahsoka, and he talks to Ahsoka for a minute, and it's a sad situation because she told him that, in order for Grogu to become a Jedi, he has to let go of his attachments. And, that means that he wouldn't be able to see Mando no more. He would have to fully focus on being a Jedi. And, that sucks because they have a good relationship. And, being that we all know now that the Jedi were wrong with the way that they were teaching, there honestly is no reason for this. But that hasn't happened yet. Luke Skywalker hasn't realized that the ways of the Jedi was wrong. But he's talks to Ahsoka, he's trying to see how, Grogu's doing and stuff like that. And, but it was a much needed conversation. So as Mando still wants to see Grogu, she just like I said, she just tells him it'll be hard for Grogu to continue his training. Mando ends up telling Ahsoka like, look, like, okay, if that's what it's gonna be, I'll leave. But he did see Grogu from a distance. From a distance, he saw Grogu and Luke Skywalker while they were like training. But he didn't like make his presence felt. You know what I'm saying? So, but Mando was like, look, like, you have to promise me to give him this, and it was a gift. It's the armor that the armorer made for Grogu, because Mando wanted, Grogu to have a little present. So she says, okay, I will, I'll give it to him, and that was it. So he ends up leaving off the planet, and Grogu sees the ship, and it's not the Razor Crest anymore, but he still knows how Mando feels like. So he like reaches his hand out, and you can tell that Grogu sensed that was Mando. You know what I'm saying? So it's sad, man. I really wish that it wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? Especially because they say that the first Mandalorian, the one that like really, really was like the best, he was a Jedi and a Mandalorian. So why can't Grogu just be a Jedi and a Mandalorian? But we'll see what happens with that in the future. So Skywalker continues to train Grogu and with the Force mentally and physically. We have a scene where Ahsoka ends up leaving Luke, and he gives her Ahsoka leaves Luke, and she gives Luke the gift that Mando had left for Grogu. And so of course Luke will give it to him. He asks her, will I ever see you again? And she's like, possibly, So and I think they'll see each other again, So from there, we pick back up with Mando. Now Mando's landing back on I guess Tatooine. Yeah, Tatooine. And he's basically gonna go help out Boba Fett, So he goes to Boba Fett's lair, Boba Fett's going over the plan with his team, and they're talking about how to deal with the Pike situation. Um, and Mando tells Boba like, because Boba's like, now with Chrysanthemum and with Mando, we have enough, foot soldiers to really and enough experience to really go put the work in. And Mando's like, yo, we may not be done yet. Let me go see what I can do. Let me go make a few runs, see if I can get some help too as well. So he ends up leaving. Mando ends up leaving, and he goes to go visit Cobb. And he asks Cobb and the people of the town for help, but Cobb is telling them that like, look, like we're good here. That's like more of an inner city type of problem. We don't really have to worry about it. We're at peace here. And Mando's like, yeah, you may be at peace for right now, but we're talking about this whole place is going to get taken over by the Pikes if we don't do something about it now. So yeah, you may be fine now, but eventually down the line, you're going to come to a point where you wish that you did help out. So Cobb is like, you know what? I'll see what I can do. And Mando's like, okay, cool. That's all he could ask from Cobb. That's all Mando could ask from Cobb. So he said he'll see what he can do. So Mando leaves, and then Cobb gets a visitor, bro. And it's Cade Bane, bro. Like, what? They all the people that they had in this episode, it was surprise after surprise after surprise, right? But I think it's Cade Bane. But he's another mercenary, you feel me? Like one of those dudes that you do not play with. And he tells Cad tells Cobb, like, look, like, we'll pay you double what Boba would pay you to help him out. Difference is, you don't have to do anything. You just stay here and you just don't help him out. Things keep going peacefully. You don't have to worry about nothing. But we'll pay you double. If not, you're not going to like what, you get coming to you. And so, the situation escalates. There's another officer out there with Cobb, and that dude is like a new guy. So he ends up trying to draw his pistol, and Cade Bane shoots him. He shoots Cobb, and then Cade just he leaves the premises, and we don't know if Cobb is dead or if he just injured. But I'm hoping he's not dead, So from there, we see these Pikes, and they go to Madame Garza's club, and they sit down at the table for a second, and they have like I don't know, some type of little package per se, right? They leave it on the table, and then they leave like right after. And I'm like, oh my God, bro, it's a bomb, bro. Next thing you know, the place gets blown up, man. The place gets blown up, bro. So the Pikes are making their moves, with mercenaries and, just doing things. They're really, it's about to go down. It's about to go down heavy. So after that, we go back to Luke and Grogu, and Luke shows Grogu the armor that the Mandalorian left for him. And then he also shows him Yoda's lightsaber. And he tells him, you can choose one of them. So if you choose the Mandalorian armor, that's fine. And then you'll be going back with Mando. Now, if you choose Yoda's lightsaber, that's fine as well. But you can't see Mando no longer. And you're going to stay here, and, I'm going to teach you. And he explains to him that the way that your life goes, like, you live longer than a lot of people because of the way that your species grows. So they can either be that you have the time to learn to be a Jedi or the time to learn to be a Mandalorian. And right before he makes his decision, the episode ends. So we don't know what he's gonna choose. Um, we'll have to see. My whole thing, like I said, is like, why can't he choose both? That should be a possibility. And I would say, like, if he doesn't choose both, then I think that he needs to go with the Mando, because we never heard about, Baby Yoda or Grogu, like, in any of the stories, like where Luke is. You know what I'm saying? When Luke taught he does eventually teach his students. And we know how that goes with Kylo Ren. So, I would hate for Grogu to be there to die like that, Or so I'm just figuring, either he's gonna learn both ways or he's gonna go with Mando. But I could be wrong. But yeah, that was the episode pretty much. Three of my favorite scenes would be seeing Luke, Ahsoka, and Grogu. Like, just seeing those three again really, really it touched me, you know what I'm saying? Because I love all three of these characters, and we haven't seen them for a little while, and just to see all three of them again, it was really, really cool, man, really cool. Another one of my favorite scenes would be the training with Luke, when Grogu was training with Luke. Like, it was so cool to see Grogu, you know what I'm saying? He's still small, but you can tell that some time has passed and he's growing up, you know what I'm saying? And he just seen him train, you know what I'm saying? Seeing him jump, bruh, do flips and stuff like that. That was crazy, because he was only able to do little footsteps, you know what I'm saying? So that was really crazy to see his growth, you know what I'm saying? And to see that he's still learning, it was cool to see that. And then my third favorite scene would be Cad Bane when he shoots Cobb. Like, not necessarily that Cobb got shot, but just his introduction, you feel me? Like, his presence was definitely felt. And just being the character that he is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really am looking forward to see what he does, in this next episode. And even later down the line in this series, or maybe in the Mandalorian season, or maybe he gets his own spinoff. Because I would definitely love to see a spinoff for him. That would be really, really cool. That would be really cool. But yeah, three of my favorite scenes. You got the premise. The grade for this, man, I have to give it a 10. Have to give it a 10. There was just so much stuff in this episode, man. So much stuff to unpack, and it's just like, that's the only thing that it could deserve. It could only deserve a 10. So that's what I give it. But if you guys saw the episode, let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share. This is Q's Insight. I am Callie, and until next time.